Good morning from Los Angeles. It's Alissa, Coram, and Ken Shreve here with your market update on this Wednesday. And on today's show, we're going to be taking a look at Apple and Boeing moving on earnings, plus previewing results for PayPal and ServiceNow. But first, let's take a look at the major indexes. We are up across the board. The Dow, no surprise, leading gains up about 1.1%, while we have the NASDAQ up about 0.9% and the S&P 500 up about 0.5%. So overall, a good day and some Dow standouts on earnings.
Didn't seem that long ago when there was a lot of pessimism around fourth quarter earnings season, and overall it's been a pretty strong earnings season so far. So more solid reports today. We're going to take a look at a chart of the NASDAQ, which is holding, continues to hold comfortably above its 50-day moving average. It is outperforming, like you said, thanks to strong results from Apple. S&P 500 lagging a little bit today. Financials, retail stocks kind of weighing that index down, but real story is a nice tech rally today.
Yeah, speaking of the tech rally, Apple shares up about 5%, a gap up in shares on the quarterly earnings report. We did have a beat on both the top and bottom lines. Not a big beat, but a beat nonetheless. And one of the concerns, I think, heading into the report was the slowdown in iPhone sales, which we did see happen, but revenue from other segments somewhat impressive.
Well, slowing iPhone sales has been well documented for Apple.
Right.
It looks like a lot of the bad news has been priced in here. You can see the stock's 50-day moving average, which has been in a sharp downtrend for quite some time. Apple is trying to move back above that, but when a stock goes on a lengthy downtrend like Apple, sometimes that 50-day moving average can turn out to be a resistance level. So good day so far for Apple, but yeah, outside of the iPhone, you have Mac revenue up 9%, iPad sales up 17%, cloud revenue doing well. You know, so there were a lot of metrics outside of the iPhone, which actually were pretty good for Apple.
Yeah, so for those who believe in the Apple story, what would we want to see next? Obviously, retaking the 50-day line, continuing to make gains, and eventually form a base.
Yeah, I mean, even if it does manage to reclaim the 50-day moving average, there has been so much technical damage done to this stock. A lot of work to do. I mean, it's possible at some point we could see a bottoming type base, but you know, there's just been a lot of institutional selling in this stock. So pretty strong quarter, stock rallying as a result. But I think the market's probably going to want to see another couple quarters in a row before you know, before institutional investors really start coming into the stock and accumulating shares again.
Right. Well, fellow Dow stock, Boeing is up about 6.6% in heavy volume on its quarterly report, which some are considering to be a blowout quarter, a big beat on earnings and sales, as well as a strong outlook for earnings and sales for the full year. And we're seeing nice technical performance as well.
Some of the better earnings reports so far this season has been in the Dow. I mean, not that long ago we had United Technologies with a big profit report. So shares of Boeing doing very well today. It is you know, a nice gap up for the stock. It looks like it's all the way up near its session high. This stock opened strongly higher, pulled back to its session low, but seems to be strengthening here. Just a classic example of what a breakout from a consolidation looks like. It's trying to break out over its prior high there, but very bullish day so far for Boeing. Big increase in operating margin in its commercial aircraft segment, but big earnings sales beat and a strong outlook as well.
That's right. Well, we will be getting more quarterly reports. It's a big week for earnings this week. So after the close, we will be hearing from PayPal, shares hovering around a buy point heading into that report. And Zacks analysts expect earnings up 22%, while sales rise 26%. And that would continue a streak of strong double-digit growth that we've seen from PayPal.
It's such an impressive company because it has a market cap over $100 billion, and it is still churning out 20% growth on the bottom line and the top line, and annual estimates are right in that 20% area as well. So very impressive company, really obviously the leader in online payments. So we'll see what the numbers look like from PayPal. Technically, it's hanging in there. You know, we talked about Boeing just trying to break out from a long consolidation. PayPal is really in the same boat. It rallied nicely last week. It's trading very close to a buy point here, but we'll see what the results look like after the close.
Right, it looks like it attempted to form a handle there, didn't quite move sideways in tight enough for enough trading days to do that, but it is hovering near that 93.80 entry.
Yeah, so its prior high of 93.70 clearly is a resistance level to watch. Last week, the stock had a few big up days in a row. You did have a little handle area recently. I think the early entry was 92.57. So this is a leaderboard stock, so I think that's the entry that we're working with. But, you know, stock holding near highs, and clearly a lot of optimism that results are going to be pretty good for PayPal.
And ServiceNow also set to issue its quarterly report, working on a base and potentially nearing a buy point, and strong results expected here, strong numbers with earnings expected to rise 83% while sales are up 31%, and that would again be in line with the same strong growth that we've been seeing from ServiceNow.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot about very kind of visible fundamentals in the enterprise software group, a lot of companies that have been strong price performers because of not only really solid growth in recent quarters, but strong growth prospects ahead. So ServiceNow is right in that boat. This is a provider of cloud-based workflow management software, and very, very strong growth prospects here. Again, a company no small potatoes, market cap of north of 30 billion, and really strong growth expected this quarter. We do have a pretty identifiable buy point here of 192.89. So this is a stock where if it does gap up on earnings, it would definitely be actionable because it'd be breaking out of a base.
Yeah, our research has shown that those gap ups could be the start of a nice run for a stock.
Yeah, I mean, when a stock gaps up, it's a very counterintuitive buy because sometimes a stock like Xilinx, for example, recently gapped up on earnings, and it has done a great job holding gains and has actually strengthened since the gap up. But it's possible we could see that type of action in ServiceNow and in a good setup ahead of earnings.
Yeah, Xilinx is a great recent example. Okay, everyone, thank you for joining us today. And make sure you head to investors.com throughout the session and after the close for the latest stock news and analysis and our take on those earnings reports. And be sure to head to social media to follow and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter so you can stay up to date on all the latest. And a somewhat special announcement, we are very close to the 25,000 subscriber mark on YouTube, so help us reach 25,000. I mean, unless we've already crossed that milestone. I haven't checked yet this morning, but we were very close.
Bumping up right against it.
Yeah, lots of exciting stuff happening on YouTube, so make sure you are subscribing and you'll be able to get alerts for all of our latest videos. Thanks again for watching, and see you back here tomorrow.